apologize in advance because I'm still a little coffee, but
Apologize for nothing.
you know that just means more water
Also,
breaks for everyone.
you're drinkable.
But if we are ready to go, gamers, are you ready to go, Chloe?
Yep.
As Chloe's frantically pulling up Ivana's sheet.
Roll 20.
But where we had left off last time, you had all just been attempting to investigate apparently the still unnamed sickness or plague from the Empire has begun to infiltrate Shevgard, the city you are all in. And you've been hired to root out not only the cause of the illness, where it is originating from, but possibly, however you guys can, to figure out how to stop it from being made, as it has been determined that this is manufactured. Your clues have begun to lead you guys to investigate some of the smugglers in the city. You started with the Marino family, interviewing Dulia, their eldest daughter, in her little sandwich shop. She gave you guys some details about her brother Gino being sick, and that she hasn't heard from the rest of her family, and ended up agreeing to supply you all with the address of her parents' home. And we had
And
left.
everyone was freaked out by Brutus's business voice.
And we left off with you all heading over to the Marino parent home. So as we resume, is there anything you guys want to do before you arrive at the house, or we just jumping straight to the house?
I don't think I have anything.
Slay. You good, Chloe? I'm gonna take that as a yes.
Leave me alone.
Alright. Then, traveling the streets, it does not take long to arrive at 135 Roxfate Street, the address of, apparently, the parents that run this small smuggling circle. The house certainly isn't rich by any standards. It's very narrow, very much the kind of like house you'd expect to see in the center of a city. Narrow, a couple stories, probably rather cramped inside. There looks to be a small pile of mail on the front step, and all of the curtains are drawn. What would you all like to do?
I'd like to pick up the mail, not to go through it, but just to pick it up.
Slay. Yeah, even with you trying to avoid, snooping, you can tell just from the amount of mail that it's probably been a good couple days since anyone's grabbed the mail.
Well, either they're too sick to come to the door, or they're not home.
Or they're dead.
That too. Trying to be
None of these are mutually exclusive options.
Well, I guess we knock and find out.
Alright, you not gonna wanna?
Yep.
Alright, there's a small, like a normal iron knocker, presumably to get the sound to travel farther in the multi-story house. So with a quick knock on it, it is quiet. No response within 30 seconds, no response within a minute. There's no immediately discernible sound from inside the house.
I'd like to try to see if the door is open.
Oh, great. We don't have morals. This is good.
giving the door just a testing push and jiggle of the doorknob. It is indeed locked.
Can I pick the lock?
You sure
I was
can.
going to volunteer. I'm the locksmith here. I was going to do it.
Oh, fair. I didn't know you were playing now.
The call out. The call out.
I mean, hey, I can play until Charlotte gets back with pizza.
Real.
So.
Alright, then go ahead and roll, Connor. I think Chloe's coloring on the children's activity pages right now.
Chloe is indulging their inner child really quick.
I actually don't know.
Okay. Jesus Christ. So, with an 8 on the die, that is an 18.
Slay. We love reliable talent.
No, that's because my proficiency with these tools puts me at a +10.
Go off.
Oh, yeah.
Alright. Then yeah, it's quick work for you, Brutus. You even think you've seen this model of lock before. Pretty common in cities. It's not an especially rigorous lock, and it pops open. The door isn't creaky or anything. It opens up, and in this tight, like entryway, there's a lot of shoes piled up, a lot of coats. This is definitely a home that belongs to a family. And while from the footprints on the floor of dried mud and whatnot, it looks like it hasn't been disturbed in maybe a couple days, but there isn't built up dust or cobwebs. It's not incredibly abandoned. But ahead of you guys, there is a series of stairs going up. It looks like there might be a kitchen past the stairs, maybe some sort of seating area, like a living room or dining room or something of that sort. Possibly bedrooms upstairs. Though what immediately catches attention, I assume mostly to Brutus as a locksmith, is that there is a door on the side of the staircase, what clearly might lead to an attic. I'm sorry, not an attic. Fuck me, the opposite, a basement. Or something like that.
What's the opposite of an attic?
Not a lot going on in your attic today, apparently.
Real. And there is not just a lock on the door, there is a bolt above it, and there is a second lock below the first, and there's even a lock at the bottom of the door, presumably to keep it from being forced open. So 4 locks in total on the door.
Brutus is going to look at that and just kind of go, okay, considering what was in the last basement that was locked that we know of, who wants to take a guess that there's something down there that we really don't want to see?
Well, it's not going to be the dead brothers and sisters of a dragon, so we might be alright.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
It was a whole thing.
Yeah, someone's family got infested with, the original version of the plague, and then they had to lock their weird infected ghoul relatives in the basement because they couldn't bring themselves to kill them. It was a whole thing.
Okay.
Rich people are fucked up.
And also, don't get infected, if that's not a lesson.
I'm learning that. But also I am happy to go down first.
Ooh, be my guest.
Side note, the archer wants to go first.
Yeah, the archer that doesn't have a quiver, if you remember.
Normal guy things.
Yeah, normal guy things. No, he does have a sword. He doesn't just have a quiver on him. You do know that he's some kind of hunter, so...
Karis isn't going to stop him if he wants to go first.
Real.
Karis, why don't you volunteer?
Did you say that these were all like bolts, or was there like a padlock? I can't remember.
There's a mixture of both.
Okay. I will look at Brutus and gesture to the padlocks and be like, if you would be so kind.
100% take care of those.
So yeah, give me one more check. It looks like the padlocks are to keep people from getting in from this side, and the bolts are to keep people from getting out on the other side.
That's a 25.
Work. Yeah.
Being a rogue.
With I won't make you roll twice with especially with a 25. Those locks. These ones are definitely tougher than the front door, but still relatively easy work for you, Brutus.
I do this for a living.
Exactly.
I am gonna draw my bow.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll notice that there is like where you would grab the bow on the haft, there is a spike poking out right where it would kind of hit the palm of your hand. And Thane kind of grabs around that area and he kind of like, his face sort of scrunches slightly. And the bow will begin to glow, and I will use my Blood Maledict on my bow.
Slay.
And that means I need to actually get dice out so I can roll the damage on myself.
Woohoo! We love blood magic!
That is a 2, so I take 2 damage.
Slay. Alright, you take the first step to glance down the staircase. It's not a terribly long staircase. It's not terribly dark, even. It looks like some kind of, storage, basement. Even just from a glimpse from the top of the stairs, you can see what looks like maybe an old couch covered with a sheet. And as you begin... Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to say, just so that you're aware, my bow sheds bright light in 20 feet.
Yeah.
Which was the main reason for doing it.
Yeah?
2 points of damage for a flashlight.
Yeah, but also to be able to shoot the bow if I need to.
Would you describe it more as just a general glowing, or would you rather it more like a spotlight kind of thing?
No, I can't imagine there's a way to focus it, so just a general 20 foot around me.
Okay.
You missed out on the opportunity there to have it like a sniping sort of, how like you get like flashlights on guns and stuff. You missed out on that opportunity there.
Yeah, I'd let you control it to a degree. You couldn't go further than the 20 feet, but if you wanted to manipulate it within that 20 feet, I think that's fun. It's mostly flavor.
Yeah, I think in this instance, though, I want to be able to see all around me, considering I don't know what's down there. So, yeah, and then I guess I'll start taking the stairs down and being sure to basically check my lefts, my rights, and my centers.
Real. All right. Descending the staircase, as more of the basement becomes visible, the stairs aren't creaky. They seem well maintained. It looks like a storage room. What is the marching order of descending the stairs?
Everyone is standing at the top going, after you, after you.
Brutus is not getting involved in this. Brutus is going back to look through the mail.
Go off.
I've still got the mail. But I can hand it to you, that's fine.
No, hang on. Did you pocket their mail?
Yes.
Why? You just want to snoop and then you just straight up stole their mail? I
wasn't stealing it, I was putting it in my pocket so it's not just like left lying around.
Yeah, then
If you want to snoop
Yeah.
through it, then I'll happily hand it to you.
Yeah, I am 100% like, I'm not necessarily going to open any of it, but I want to at least thumb through to like see if there are return addresses, any sigils I recognize, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll hand you the mail. before I go down.
Watch us in the future say that we forget to say that we put it back, so we end up just stealing their mail.
Yeah. No D&D campaign is complete without a bit of mail fraud, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh god.
Literally every D&D campaign I've ever played in or listened to has a bit of mail fraud. I think
It's okay,
the only
it's fine.
one I haven't seen mail fraud committed in is Charlie's, but that could have just happened while I wasn't there.
I don't think I've ever had mail fraud in any of my campaigns.
No,
Step up.
We'll have to work on that.
You should fix that. I was about to say, the first thing we're going to do if we ever get back to Barry is Barry's going to steal someone's mail.
I was waiting for you guys to steal someone's mail now in my game.
Yeah.
Mail.
All right.
Iris is constantly
if-
stealing other people's mail.
If
What are you talking about?
If Ivana's going to insist on being last, Karis will let everyone else go through first, and then just spend just a bit too much time just staring at Ivana, waiting for them to go down
I'm staring
before
right
she
back.
realizes that they won't and will follow. But it's just enough time for it to be slightly awkward,
Hell yeah.
but no more than that.
Yeah. Ivana has thoughts about pushing Karis down the stairs.
Which is why Karis is like a good 5 steps away from Ivana before he decides to go down.
All right. In that case, if Brutus is staying behind with the mail to look through it, the two catty bitches are taking up the rear. I'm guessing Grim is right behind Thane.
Yep.
Slay. My favorite duo, the catty bitches.
We are the catty bitches.
That's my. That's going to be the name of my folk band.
All right. Just to resolve this real quick, Brutus thumbing through. You can make an investigation check if you want.
I would love to make an investigation check. Watch me roll a natural 1. That is, in fact,
You're
the kinky
halfway.
20.
Heyo. We'd love to hear it. With the kinky 20, just giving a quick thumb through the mail, you don't immediately see any like criminal sigils that stick out to you. You see a few that like more regular quote unquote sigils that you recognize, like one from a charity that you know operates in the city, helping out with the refugees. It looks to be very normal mail, a mix of maybe from family friends. One is maybe like a tax document. The one that looks like it's from a charity. It's giving the vibes of like, thank you for your contributions, you know. Like, you don't see anything that screams this is a family of criminals.
I'm going to take a closer look at the one that's from the charity, because I remember specifically that's where they were funneling a lot of their stolen goods, was to the refugees.
Mm-hmm. Yep, giving it a quick pop open, looking over it, it's essentially like a note saying, like, oh, thank you for your donation. Like, your family always gives such great support. Here's some details of what your help has gone towards. Like, this family was able to, you know, pay for rent for another month. Like, these children were able to find a house to be fostered in, that kind of thing. And while there is no specifications of how much they might have donated or what exactly, you know, Brutus, your own family has donated to such charities before. You've seen such thank you letters before. This is definitely a lot more detailed and effusively thankful than you normally see, so you get the feeling that the Marino family does give a lot.
Anything in Thieves' Camp that I would recognize?
Nope. But Thane, heading on down, it looks like a relatively normal basement. I mean, you tell me how many basements of peasants Thane has been in, but I mean, as a monster hunter, probably more than most.
Yeah.
But it looks relatively normal. But you can make a perception or investigation if you'd like.
I will go with investigation because I'm a touch better at that than perception. So,
Slay.
your boy. That is a 19.
Real. Then yeah, checking it out, you do start to realize, especially with your light giving much easier access to see things that might have been a little bit more missable, even in dim light. There's faint, while the floor of the basement is cobblestone, there is ever so faint drag marks nearby the couch covered by a sheet, like it's been moved before, and not just once to put it into place, but multiple times. It's been moved back and forth.
I move my couch back and forth. I move my couch back and forth.
Okay.
You said that the couch is like covered in a dust sheet.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. Is the couch still completely couch shaped, or does it look like there's something on the couch?
It looks couch shaped.
Okay.
Dan's about to get mimicked.
Yep. I guess still gonna remove the dust sheet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a bit of scraping, and it seems to catch on something briefly before it comes loose. But it's an old, beaten up couch, a bit moth eaten. You know, makes sense that they're not using it anymore.
Okay. And then I'm gonna move the couch in the way that the couch looks like it's been moved.
Yeah. As you put your hands on it to move it, you notice immediately that there's this feeling like you could just pick up the couch and move it. There'd be no problems. But you can feel under the legs of one of the couches that there's some kind of catch there. And if you push the couch in the direction that these drag marks seem to be, it'll catch on something and pull it with the couch.
I'm gonna do that.
Hell yeah.
And hopefully it opens a secret door and doesn't, cause an explosion.
Then as you push it, and there is a faint grinding noise that is immediately reminiscent of gears of some sort of machinery. There is a faint shuddering, and one of the walls that had previously looked relatively normal, just kind of a bare basement wall, the cobblestones shift and open and pull back, and there is a room beyond. And there's very faint sounds of movement from that room, almost panicked and quick before it falls silent again.
I will step up to the doorway, letting the light shine through so I can see. I'm gonna not fully draw the bow, but I'm gonna keep my fingers on the string.
Mm-hmm.
As I kind of look around for the source of the panicked voices that I heard.
Yeah, sticking your head into the room. There's only so much they can hide, so it's immediately clear that there are two people in this room. There is a small cot in the corner that one person is laying on, and they seem to be kind of trying to hurriedly pull a blanket over them, try and somewhat disguise that they're there. But either they didn't hear you guys coming or something happened that they didn't catch in time. And the other person is standing in front of the cot and is taking kind of like a defensive stance. It is a halfling person, kind of dressed very normally, not like poor peasant, middling, but is wielding a knife. Looks a bit shaky, has kind of darker skin, and their hair is shorn very tightly to their skull, and they are sweating and kind of gaze flicking at each of you, and say quietly, You shouldn't be here. Get out."
We're not here to hurt you.
"I don't care about that. You need to leave."
Well, you have a family member who's been looking for you.
They seem to struggle for a second and then tighten up their shoulders and say, We're contagious. You need to leave. People know we're here. They've been sending medicine, but you need to go before you catch it too."
What are you contaminated with?
And they're kind of cut off as the person behind on the cot, who's now fully wrapped the blanket around themselves, starts coughing in this very thick and wet way that, wow, shocking, sounds a familiar cadence to you, Grim. Plague Doctor eyes narrow.
The mask just does the Kermit scrunch.
Thane will step aside and let Grim through and stuff because he don't know much about this.
Grim will walk up a little bit, definitely not in a cadence that is like, I'm going to be calm about this.
Mm-hmm.
And is going to kind of hold out the medicine, their medicine bag, and is going to, I am a doctor. I'm familiar with I'm familiar with this. Do you mind if I examine you?
The one holding the knife still looks very unsure, kind of glancing back at the person on the cot, and then back to all of you. Who are you all? No one should know we're here. The apprentice said that the doctor wouldn't be here for another few days.
Which doctor?
I don't know. One of our allies has a doctor on call.
And they didn't give you a name at all?
Listen, I don't know who you are. I don't know what you're doing here or how you found us. Who the fuck are you people?
Sorry, this is over the table because my brain is completely shot after the super long week.
Good.
I know that we were sent by the Tabaxi lady.
Mm.
What was her reasoning for us finding these people again?
She had heard rumors that they were not present, that they had missed some of their drop-off points, and she had directed you guys to try and contact their daughter. And upon contacting the daughter at that sandwich shop, she had informed you guys that she suspected her family was somehow sick.
I'll look at them and be like, a mutual friend had noted you'd missed a few. Quinn can't think of the word, but Thane would.
Drop-offs, maybe?
Yeah, I don't, but not that obvious. Like, not meetings. But a more subtle word for drop-off.
Appointments.
Appointment, yeah. You missed a few appointments, and had sent us to investigate and to make sure that you were okay.
Or is that the apprentice, or it must have been either the apprentice or the order. And to be clear, yes, Hush, the tabaxi who hired you guys, is working with the Order of Moonshadow. The person behind on the cot, who's still kind of struggling to breathe clearly and catch their breath after coughing, kind of quietly says, "Silvano, let them pass." The one holding the dagger kind of falters again for a second, and then sighs and steps aside, glancing back at the person who is now pulling off the blanket. "Apologies for my partner. Silvano is from some more violent circles. I'm Vitus Marino."
Lovely to meet
A pleasure
you.
to meet you.
Mama y papa.
Mama y papa.
This is the knife wife I was joking about.
Let's go.
But Vitus, who has just taken off the blanket, he is much similarly. He is a halfling. He has a bit of a short, disheveled afro. Looks certainly a lot sicker, and more noticeably though than Silvano. Bags under his eyes, kind of whistling on every breath, and his gaze is kind of far away. I can only assume that your intentions are true. Even if they weren't, we don't have much here to steal or take. Just two sick old folk.
We're not here to steal from you.
Then what are you here for?
As I said, to find out what happened to you.
We don't rightly know ourselves.
Did you touch something at one of these appointments that you shouldn't have?
Our sons, Alessio and Gino, they handle most of the business nowadays. I'm getting up there in age, and Silvano does not like to be far. Alessio has been establishing some more connections, trying to expand the business, and brought home a new shipment he had agreed to, and began showing symptoms not long after. He disappeared back into the tunnels, I assume, to try and find those who initially hired him for this job, and we instructed our second son, Gino, to take our youngest daughter to safety with some allies, as she wasn't sick. Gino was supposed to come back, though, and he has not in 3 days. Some of our allies have dropped off supplies, but most of the healers are being used elsewhere. the doctor we mentioned is supposed to be coming, but not for a couple more days at least.
Where are your allies where they need this much help?
Say again, Chloe?
Where are your allies where they need this much help?
Here, there's refugees that are coming in sick, injured from the front lines. There's soldiers falling back. There's a lot of work to be done right now for healers and the like.
Where is the shipment that your two sons had brought home originally that made you sick?
Alessio took it with him.
What was the shipment?
It was apparently some sort of a medication, we were told. A new form of medication to combat the illnesses that were plaguing the soldiers here.
That illness look anything much like this one?
I don't particularly know the details. Alessio was handling all of it. I've been trying to step back and retire bit by bit.
May I investigate you?
There is a moment where Silvano steps forward again, already raising the knife, and Vitus just like waves a hand while coughing into his other fist. Silvano, if I don't get care, I think we can see what direction this is going to go in. I don't think this can hurt more than that.
He is a doctor.
Silvano kind of stands down again, but is like watching your every single movement, Grim, with the intensity of someone who will cut off your hand.
Grim will kind of turn their head and like just enough that they like Ivana could see that they're glaring at them, and will turn back and walk forward and prepare to examine them.
All right. Are you looking at Vitus or Silvano first?
Brain is doing a brain thing. The one without a knife.
Real. That's Silvano. I'm sorry, Vitus. Fuck me.
Vitus, yes.
All right. So give me a medicine check.
15.
Slay. Yeah. Even without, looking like, even without taking a blood sample or looking at bone marrow or any of the more detailed steps you could take, just from the coughing, from feeling the pulse, from looking, with a little light into Vitus's eyes, all the normal checkup things you would do. The symptoms are all familiar. When he coughs, among the spittle, you can see the tiniest of black flecks. It's pretty clear what he's infected with. And it looks like, from your estimation, that he is pretty intensely infected. Like, maybe as much infected as that very first soldier you ever saw with this.
How long have you been infected?
It is difficult to nail down what day was first exactly, but I'd say 6 or 7 days.
Any cuts, bruises, marks?
Not that I've seen. He kind of holds out his hands, and there's no black staining. There's nothing that you've normally seen. There doesn't seem to be any hidden injuries. However, he was infected is seemingly not one instantly visible.
Will I be allowed to take some of your blood? And it's gonna kind of peer their head over.
Glowering knife wife. Gesundheit.
I feel like this is also the exact moment Brutus walks down the stairs.
Yeah, holding all their mail. Silvano gives you a slow nod, though is edging closer to stand right next to you.
Grim is gonna kind of turn and look back at Ivana again, and he's gonna go ahead and pull out an empty syringe.
Look, Ivana doesn't just have physical knives. They can be ready at any time. Ivana just gives you like a short nod, like one of those quick, like, I got you nods.
I mean, Thane still hasn't let go of his bowstring either, so.
Yeah.
His bowstring that definitely wasn't there before.
No. The bowstring was there. He doesn't have a quiver.
Quiver and quiff.
Hello? Yeah.
Yeah, the bow is normal, other than for the spike that's on the haft.
Mm-hmm. From a quick blood draw, Grim, the blood looks, well, like blood, but certainly darker and more oxidized than it normally would be. And there's ever so faint, tiny black flecks in and among it. It is surprising that if he is this infected, that his mental faculties are still so strongly with him.
Do you have any?
That's just the sound of Grim's brain.
Really?
Fuck you. Fuck, what was I gonna say?
Have you had any brain fog? Any issues with your thoughts, memories?
A couple of days ago, I indeed was starting to become confused. At this, Silvano speaks up again. Yeah, confused, talking about being hungry even though he had just eaten. I communicated this to our allies when they dropped by with some food, and they gave him this. And they reach over and kind of tug out from under Vitus's shirt a small golden chain, very, very thin and fine. And Silvano says to you, Grim, ever since he's been wearing it, at least the sickness doesn't seem to have stopped. It keeps getting worse, but at least his mind seems to be all right.
What is this exactly?
A number of our allies work with depending on your opinion, you could say disreputable or quite reputable group. And they normally, I thought they wore these chains just to signify their membership, but I guess it's some sort of magical ward of some sort. That's all I can assume. I have no skill with the arcane, so I don't know for sure.
Can I, like, I guess investigate the chain?
Sure. You can either roll investigation or history. It would give you two different answers.
Well, I am proficient in history, so we'll go with that. That is another 19.
Woohoo!
Can I also roll?
Like 19s today.
Yes, Ivana, you can roll history with advantage. So I'll tell you what you know, Thane, off of a 19. So you don't know about this one specifically, but you know golden chains in general, especially if they're being worn but lightly hidden, apparently being a symbol of membership to a group, implications that this group apparently may or may not be criminals in some form, but maybe not the worst criminals. You have heard of a group, a very private group, that you know maybe your family would call a criminal gang. But for example, Toronto seems to think that's more funny and just refers to them as a group. But called Forte Susurrus, that are known as information gatherers. You know, historically, they've also done things such as run, like, essentially underground railroads. The kind of group that you just kind of will spy out of the corner of your eye, someone with a golden chain being involved in something that you don't expect. They've just kind of got their fingers in a little bit of every pie. You don't know what their general goal is, though, or leadership. You know, your family is like, calls them criminals, while Toronto seems to think that's kind of funny. Unclear, but that you are aware that you know, well, even just that is way more than what the average person would know.
And I'm assuming I've not really come across them in my line of work.
You very well could have, but, you know, it's
Probably
fairly
wouldn't have known.
easy to hide a small gold chain.
Yeah.
21.
21 for Ivana. Ivana, you know all that stuff, but also you were very specifically educated on a lot of different criminal groups. You know this is one that your family fucking hates, because they are
Right.
considered
Can't wait to make friends with them.
they are considered disruptors to society. They are considered busybody know-it-alls who need to know every single bit of information.
Oh my god, sounds like disruptor of society. Yeah. How do you spell disruptor?
Oh god,
It's okay,
DISRU.
I guess. So,
Yeah,
like, disruptor of society.
go off.
And nosy busybodies.
Yes,
Nosy.
they need to know everything. Got fingers in everybody's pie. Very much think like a criminal organization that is a web of knowledge, and you know that there is a spider in the center collecting all of this info, but you know that the leadership changes fairly often, not for bad reasons. It's usually leadership is given as a reward, and it has been heavily implied to you that this is actually low-key a religious group. In the loosest of senses, they are collecting all of this information for who they follow. You're not 100% sure who that would be, but probably if you took a look through some religious things, you probably could put it together. You
Okay,
just...
maybe we'll go back to the library.
Who knows? Who knows? Gee, I wonder.
Alright. What's the name?
Well, I
Do
feel
we know
like
the
maybe
name of
if
the
you
group?
go to the library, you'll meet them.
What'd you say, Chloe?
Do we know the name of the group?
Yes, Forte Susurrus. And I will copy and paste the spelling. Where is the spelling?
Now I guess.
Forte, sus, imposter.
Real? For real?
Sus.
We love Latin in this household. I put it in peanut gallery.
Also, do not like they're called the Susurros, and my artifact is Binding of the Squall.
Oh,
I feel like that's
so close to
connected.
wanting it.
No, those are very different. Don't worry, baby girl. It's
That means
fine,
worry.
baby girl.
That means absolutely worry. It
I'm
is not
absolutely
fun.
not worried. I just can't wait to find out what the connection is.
So, Ivana's
Says the guy who's pretty sure he already knows what the connection is.
Ivana's going to turn to him and go, so this group that gave you this are your allies? Do you work for them as well?
We don't work for them, but they agree with what we do. They support our mission to make medication more affordable and take care of those who cannot afford to take care of themselves. They prefer to be more subtle about it, though. The implication I kind of got is they don't want to be seen as too soft by their enemies, so they support groups that do it as subtly as they can.
Well, it's a noble thing you're doing.
I appreciate it, but it's not me. It's this idiot. And Silvano glances down at Vitus, who just gives an old man smile.
And coughs exactly like that.
Literally. Guys, I'm so in character right now.
Is this why you made a plague sweep across the entire continent?
Okay, not to get into it, but I was joking to Chloe that really the scariest thing I can come up for as a BBEG, as a metaphor, as a lesson for my entire world, is how horrifying chronic illness is. It really says a lot about me. Specifically, a chest infection illness. Jesus Christ. We out here. Anyways. I don't know how much information we have to personally give all of you. Our youngest daughter, Leona, is taking shelter with the Forte Susurrus right now. They said that they were trying to figure out what was going on as well, so maybe if you have some sort of contact with them, they get in contact with us. I don't know how to reach out to them in turn. We can maybe give you a map to our family's hideout. I'm not sure if Alessio and Gino are holed up there. Silvano, starts to very clearly protest, handing out a map to their fucking hideout,
Yeah.
but then just kind of sighs and gives up. In our own hideout, there's a few other keys and details of how to get in contact with some of the other smugglers in the city. If this is... I don't know. Alessio was acting odd when he brought that shipment in. We normally don't keep shipments here at our house. We don't want that evidence here. That's why we have a hideout. But for some reason he brought it here and was fairly insistent on showing it to all of us. And then he got very upset once we all began getting sick and took it with him. I don't know what's going on.
Do you know anything else about this shipment? Do you know where Alessio got it from in the first place? Do you know who was meant to be going to see? Anything like that?
He kind of shares a glance with his partner, and Silvano sighs a bit and replies instead. Alessio has been wanting to get involved in more, I guess you could say, typical criminal matters. Not just what he considers pointless do-gooding. He had insisted to us that this was medication, that this would help, that this aligned with our morals, and we were trusting him to start taking charge of the business. And now, with these inquiries and us getting sick, I'm not so sure what Alessio might have become tangled up in.
It sounds a bit not. It's not very good what he's tangled up in.
Certainly.
Do you need anything right now?
I mean, unless you've got a cure tucked away in your robes, Mr. Doctor. And Silvano kind of gives you a narrowed-eyed look, Grim.
Don't look at them like that.
A doctor who does not identify themselves by name or qualifications. Excuse me for being a bit suspicious of that. That's the kind of thing we personally combat.
Have you not heard of Doctor Who?
I'm gonna kill you.
I can't believe Chloe just canonized Doctor Who in Dormandel.
Yes, we took away his medical license last year. In times like this, especially with so many refugees around, there's a lot of people who claim to be doctors, and people disappear with them. So excuse me for being a bit careful about an unknown.
Also, to be fair, we did just get told that they've basically been backstabbed by one of the people in the organization, so...
Yeah, and Ivana's really trying not to clap back that they're still trying to give a map to us. To their secret hideout.
Yeah, they've been fucking perhaps betrayed by their own son, so like things aren't great right now.
They're being remarkably trusting, all told.
Grim will kind of just turn to them and very, like the most apologetic that anybody else in this party has seen, say, I am very sorry. My name is Dr. Grim. I am a plague specialist, if you will. Is that what you require?
Makes me a tad more comfortable to see a name, or rather to hear a name that is somewhat familiar. I had thought of your work that I've seen, though, is published quite a number of years. It's not my business.
I was a different man back then.
I go by them now.
I was a man back then.
I am Ivana,
Yep.
can you please take Brutus out of this room?
Oh, can do. And Ivana's just gonna put their hand on top of Brutus's head, spin you, and go, let's go.
That's not happening. Straight up, that's not gonna happen. Like, I don't know how we want to resolve that, but that's not gonna happen that way.
Well, what does Brutus say?
And he's just gonna give Grim a look and then try to dodge away from Ivana, I guess. Like, I don't know how we want to resolve this, but Brutus is not letting that happen like that.
I mean, you can walk out here by yourself if you want.
I can reach your kneecaps, you know.
Yes, and I can reach every part of your body.
Resist the urge to make a dick joke, Connor.
Cut it off.
I think Brutus is going to look at Grim and just go, do you care to elaborate on why I need to leave the room? It's not that I'm squeamish, it's that I don't necessarily trust your bedside manner.
I don't want you in the room.
Okay. That sounds like a you problem.
Do you want to see foreshadowing?
Can you repeat that? Because all I got was the last word.
Oh, do you want to see foreshadowing?
I don't even know what that means. I, Connor, don't know what that means.
Ivana is saying, do you really want to watch Grim do whatever they're about to do? Which is something that they are very likely to have to do to you as well.
I would rather know, actually. I would actually rather know, yes.
Grim, they're an adult. I can't force them out as much as I want to.
Fine. Kara's standing in front of him. Grim is going to turn back to both of them. Is going to put 2 green bottles on the bedside. There is no easy way for me to say this to either one of them. He's already dead. He hasn't realized it yet. He might have a couple of good days. I can do it now, painlessly. I can leave you these 2 jugs, these 2 vials, and you can do it yourselves. Or you can suffer and you can die together. I have not examined you yet. You are potentially fine. You might have a couple more days than him. I'm going to do the nice thing and give you the option to go together.
Grim, you get the immediate impression, just from Vitus's expression, that this is about what he assumed. And not just of you to say, but just assumed in general, that there was no way out. And that this was the end. Silvano, on the other hand, has kind of like balked and backed up a couple steps, looking not shocked, but clearly in denial. And the 2 of them begin to trade glances and quiet, traded words in, do halflings have their own language? I can't remember.
I think so.
Alright, they're trading words in halfling.
Which Brutus does speak.
Mm-hmm. I'm not going to get into the specifics since they're mainly whispering, but it's definitely quick bits of, like, I'm not going to leave you, we can beat this together, like, we'll be fine, just need to wait for the doctor, and Vitus saying, like, he at least needs, he needs the peace, that he's done good, that he's happy with what he did with his life, that he just wants to be able to leave a note for his 4 kids, that kind of thing. It's just the 2 of them briefly, Silvano trying to convince Vitus to keep trying, and Vitus essentially saying, I'm tired, I'm done.
Brutus is going to peel the glove. Did we ever establish which hand was the infected one?
I think we had said your
Whichever one
main
wants the
one.
pinky.
Okay, so Brutus is gonna peel the glove off of his right hand and check his fingers really quick.
Still silver.
Still silver? Okay. Brutus is going to say in halfling, I can't speak for anyone else, but a good end is a good end. But this doesn't have to be the end at all, if you're lucky. And if you're willing to fight for it, it might not be.
The two of them are quiet for a few minutes, still trading glances. And then Silvano switches back to common and says to you, Grim, how many days would you say he has? Will he survive waiting for the doctor?
The last patient that I saw this bad was dead by sunrise.
At that, Vitus speaks up again in common. And what about Silvano? Will they make it until the doctor arrives?
If they put down that knife and allow me to examine them, I can tell you.
There is an audible grinding of teeth, and the knife slowly gets
Ow.
sheathed.
And I will examine them.
Yeah, give him a medicine check. It's tempting to say disadvantage, but...
I think if it was anyone else, it would be.
That is a kinky 20.
Ayo!
Ew.
And I'm guessing Lurik is the name of the poison.
No, that is the halfling language.
Oh, slay! Oh, I didn't know that. Work. With a quick look over, Silvano is definitely sick, and again, there's no signs of... Oddly enough, there's no signs of, like, an infection point, like you've seen with literally every other person. So you're not sure how the two of them got infected. Sexually. you fit
Within
it
their
out,
lube.
Chloe.
Minutes only.
I knew it.
Everyone
Someone
must now be
spiked the lube.
abstinent.
Sorry, one already is.
That's a lie. But Silvano is probably, honestly, holding up really well. Maybe, if they had some form of visual illness, you would equate them more to, like, the level of sick Brutus had been before, getting his fingers chopped off. So Silvano definitely
Wasn't it
has
just the
time.
one finger?
It was just the pinky. That's the only one.
Oh, right, that was just the pinky. So Silvano definitely has a decent amount of time. Hard to know exactly how much, but at least a while, especially if it's taking Vitus a week to get to this point.
I'd give you a couple days.
Vitus quietly reaches out and takes Silvano's hand and kind of redirects them to have this private moment between the two of them. Again, switching to halfling, but Brutus, you can hear as Vitus is essentially quietly declaring his love, that he's tired, that he was tired before he even got sick. He's older than Silvano by a decent degree, a halfling moment. And correct, Nor. And Vitis essentially starts to say his goodbyes, and Sylvanos like shaking their head as Vitis tries to convince them to, at least try to tie things up for their kids, make sure that there will be things left for them, that kind of thing. And pleads with Sylvano to keep fighting for their sake, to be cured or something, to wait for the doctor or to try some other method. But that Vitis is he's done, and he'd rather a painless end than essentially choking on goo.
I think Ivana just like turns to everyone. I think at the beginning, like when they're like trying to get this private moment of just going, all right, everyone take a few steps back, but like does it kind of like in a hushed whisper sort of thing. Give them some space.
Yeah, not all awkwardly hovering at the door.
Yeah.
As a husband and partner say goodbye to each other. And after a couple minutes of this, Sylvano eventually sighs, kind of eyes you, Brutus, but doesn't speak to you specifically, more addresses both you and Grim, and in common says, "Fine. I won't take his choice from him. I need to fight, though, for our children at least. I will wait for the doctor, and if he says the same, then I will." And they kind of cut a glance towards the poison bottles. I'll do what I need to do.
Well then. Let's get on with it. Grim will grab one of the vials and we'll pull out a syringe and we'll start filling it. And we'll kind of usher her over and kind of get them nice and close together and say, you don't have to stay. But it is always nicer to go with someone.
Sylvano doesn't
experience there, Grim.
Sylvano doesn't say anything in reply, but just merely kneels down next to Vitus's cot and just holds his hand tightly. And Vitus gives you a short nod, Grim, and reaches up to take off the golden chain and pushes it into Sylvano's hands. And Grim, you notice pretty much immediately from the golden chain being removed that Vitus's eyes begin to cloud over even more and seems to start to have a confused expression, but it is still holding on enough to give you one last nod and settle back on his cot.
Grim will go ahead and inject the poison in their arm.
Mm-hmm. When you step back, Sylvano is borderline glaring at you again, Grim, but more in that kind of bitter way of like, I have allowed this because it's his choice, but I also, there's no one else here for me to blame. you know, Silvano knows it's misplaced blame, but still. And just quietly says, "Thank you. There is a map on that crate over there. I will wait here for the doctor. If you find any of our children, please tell them there will be a letter for them here. Now leave."
Okay, hang on. Just to be clear, is she staying down there? Is that what I just heard?
Yes, Silvano is staying here, and if the doctor that is coming in a couple days says the same as Brutus, then they've said that they're going to drink the poison.
Brutus is gonna mentally project to Grim. We're just gonna leave her down here with a corpse for an unknown amount of time.
Yep. He's gonna start walking to the door.
Okay.
I'm-
You're a doctor.
I'm gonna grab the map and stuff that she mentioned.
Mhm.
Thane has just been kind of like awkwardly removed from this entire exchange.
And
Like-
maybe taking notes on the party members.
No, he like once the kind of rapport was established, he'd like put his bow back and has just been leant against a wall, like almost dissociated from the situation. Like, I am not getting emotionally invested in this. I am not going to partake in this. I am not going to involve myself in this. Like, well above my pay grade.
Yeah.
This is not what I do. I kill the
Yep.
monsters and I do not help clean up afterward.
Exactly.
Karis is gonna.
But also just
Absolutely.
seeing two people that very much love each other and seem to have a mostly healthy relationship is very awkward, and he's just like, no thank you.
Karis will absolutely have picked up on this and smirk a little as he makes his way over to Thane and just says, "Welcome to the job."
Uh-huh. He doesn't even he just kind of looks at Karis, is just like, uh-huh, and then he's gonna, as I said, grab the map and notes and stuff and head upstairs away from this
Mhm.
whole situation.
Brutus is following Thane and is going to beeline for the mail that he set down on like a table or something and is going to start going through it properly.
Grim is gonna go up to Ivana and kind of very quietly go, "Is that enough bedside manner?"
Honestly, Grim, for you, that was very good. I'm very proud of you.
Get the halfling out of the room next time. That was excruciating. And he's gonna walk up the stairs.
So you do have a soft side.
I'm just trying to follow your advice.
Like I said, proud of you. Do you need me to go find you a hand to take your anger out on, or?
I need you to convince them. I need the hand. Very grumpy child stomp away.
While Thane and Brutus are upstairs while the others are still downstairs,
Mhm.
Thane is gonna kind of like sort of awkwardly look over to Brutus as he like glances up from observing the map, and just almost kind of in a I'm not quite sure I believed that just happened kind of voice. He looks at Brutus and just point blank asks, "Does your group make a habit of euthanizing people?" And I don't mean in a they're bandits, bad people, and we're going to murder them because they're destroying other people's lives. I mean in a whatever, and then he would sort of gesture to the door, whatever that was.
I mean, no, but also we are dealing with like a plague that has no known cure and kills you slowly and horrifically. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's happened and I just there for it, you know? And Brutus is just like kind of thumbing through their mail, just like, okay, where do I start with this? Like, very nonchalant because as far as he's concerned, they made their choices. There was nothing but bad choices to be made there, and they were all made knowing what the consequences could be. So he's cool. He's fine with what just happened. But, you know, just kind of quietly pissed off at the world in general that it was necessary. But just like, yeah, no, like, again, no, not really, not to that degree. But
Does
maybe
Ren
get used
normally
to
have
it.
to leave a room like that?
No, I just have a habit of getting between their less ethical medical impulses. So I imagine that's what that was about. Also, their bedside manner is, frankly, that's the best I've ever seen them do, and I want to congratulate them because that was really impressive. But yeah, for context, that is the best I've seen from them. So.
There's a moment where Thane kind of pitches the bridge of his nose a little, and he's just like it's very clearly a "oh god, what have I gotten myself into" kind of gesture.
Oh no, I don't know. This is your choice.
And he's just gonna be like mentally just help me. You're doing this because you were asked to, my friend. It's okay.
Your friend must not like you very much.
He just goes completely bright red.
Oh, that kind of friend. Oh, wow. Okay, fair.
No, it's not. It's not like that. There's nothing
Oh,
going
so you
on.
just like it to be. Okay, cool. I see where you're coming from. Gotcha. And Brutus is at this point leaning into like, again, he hangs out with a bunch of kids who generally like he's the most trustworthy adult in their lives. He knows this look, so he's leaning into that of just like,
There's this moment where Thane just kind of full on does like the pout. Like it is a full on like really kind of pout. He's just like, it's been complicated and my family wouldn't approve, so it's. And then he catches himself as he says that. It doesn't matter. Either way, it doesn't matter.
Hey, your business. As long as it's not affecting what we're doing, then I'm gonna stick my nose in. And Brutus is like visibly reining himself in from being a pest.
You can still see that Thane is kind of like in this weird place where like he knows he needs to bond with you guys in some way, but is really struggling to do it. He's just like, do I just say something? Do I just like
I think Brutus is going to like see Thane kind of flailing a little bit and then like look at the mail in his hands, kind of like cut the stack in half, like one hand, like kind of wiggle it back and forth, and then he's going to mage hand one stack of mail over to Thane and just be like, go through that, it'll give you something to do and give you time to get your phone. It's fine. And then Brutus is going to go back to snooping on the mail.
Speaking of
he
which,
kind of looks
oh, go ahead.
grateful. Yeah, he looks grateful and says, thank you. And then we'll go through the other half of the mail.
So going through, like I said, there doesn't seem to be any criminal like flags that stick out to you. Mostly just seems to be normal mail. One of the ones you open up is like an invitation to a baby shower from like presumably a family friend. It's all very banally normal mail. There is like one or two letters that kind of stick out to you, like one from a family friend from outside the city who's like, you know, my grandmother has fallen ill and we're struggling a little bit to, you know, make this payment for her next round of medication. If you have any references, it mostly just seems to be a genuine. At least the parents, the Vitus and Silvano, seem to be very genuine in it for the right reasons and don't really have suspicious connections other than apparently this massive spider webbing criminal organization, but don't worry about that. That's not important.
Yeah, I think Brutus. Yeah, I think Brutus is just kind of go like, oh, I guess they weren't kidding about really wanting to retire and pass on the family business because there is nothing in this. Like, I'm pretty well versed with the codes that people tend to write in, and this is still nothing. You get anything?
Nope. I got an invitation to a baby shower.
Oh, sweet. Oh, that's a shame. That's really fucking sad, actually. Jesus. Brutus inventing Jesus.
Man.
Christ confirmed.
That one has to invent a baby.
You know, I think I've read those books. It's like the wildest fantasy novels I've ever read in my entire life.
Considering my mom was a monster hunter, yeah, I would have loved to see her meet that fucking guy. Like, what do you mean you were dead for 3 days and then came back? Yeah, I'm gonna behead you. You're obviously a lich.
I know, right?
Like, it's just insane. Utter insanity. Anyway.
Can we please give those two a point of inspiration?
Yeah, I'll go for it.
Thank you!
Oh,
Thank you very much.
Inspiration for apparently making an Antichrist joke.
Real. Literally. But as the rest of you reconvene upstairs, what would you all like to do? You have a map apparently leading to their hideout where there might be more details about shipments or other smugglers or the two
I was
sons.
gonna say, Amanda is definitely interested in the son. Was it
Alessio.
Alessio
Mhm.
who brought back the shipment in the first place? Like, one's really curious about
Yeah.
where that came from.
Mm-hmm.
But also, that's something that we can kind of do after visiting the secret hideout as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got, and I mean, Grim, you weren't told in so many words, but you sure have a note about how to get in contact with the group. And don't worry, that group totally hasn't been mentioned this session.
Is that the same note that I shared with Karis?
Yes. It's very funny that the two people who know nothing about this criminal group are the two people that know about the note.
I mean, Ivana did say something about the group or about the location to Karis.
Yes, you were told about, essentially, my guy, you were in a den of a criminal
You're in a spy
gang.
den. What the fuck are you doing?
Karis is at some point gonna twig the pile of now opened letters and just sigh. If I'd known this was going to be a part of our day, I would have prepared mending.
Oh, time.
These two.
Thing kind of just sort of shrugs slightly, and he's like, "Well, one of them's not going to be reading it anyway, so."
To Ivana's quip as well, Karis is just going to be like, I didn't have to save your life.
I didn't ask you to.
Cool, next time I won't. Sorted.
What happened?
I think I need to buy some. Like, Dana just look between them, and he's like, "I think I need to buy some thermals."
Why do you need to buy thermals? It's warm here. I mean, to cover yourself.
I'm just gonna look at Ivana, just deadpan, just look at her, and just be like,
No, it goes right over Ivana's head.
"If I have to, the atmosphere is chilly, Ivana. Very chilly."
Oh, yes. Well, that's Karis's fault. Ivana's being a child right now, yes. I am so into
Karis is
I
just
can't
gonna
get out
throw
of the
Karis is just going to throw like an exasperated shrug as if to say, what the fuck did I do when Ivana says that?
Thane's gonna pull out his notebook again.
Okay, what is in there?
Make a few more notes in Dwarfish.
I want to try and read the notes. Ivana's like not even trying to be secretive and just tries to peer over.
I mean, can you read Dwarvish?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
And it's in Dwarvish shorthand. It's not even in Dwarvish. It's in Dwarvish shorthand.
But I was like, okay then, can you explain this what's happening? What's this? And points at the notes.
We established this before. This is a notebook for making notes.
About what?
Investigation? Roll a deception check. I have no charisma.
What'd you
That is
get?
straight 11.
Well, I don't know. Ivana's insight isn't very good, so let's see. Yeah, I don't think I add anything. No, I don't. That's a 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's notes about the investigation.
21 passive insight over here.
It is not about the investigation.
Oh, I know.
It's almost like he's really socially inept, so he makes notes about the group so that he can remember things later on.
I don't think I know that much, but I know it's not about the investigation, and I'm not saying anything to anyone. I will bring that up with you
I'm
privately at
totally
some
leaning
point.
into Dane having severitism, so
Hell yeah.
That's fair. I will be bringing it up with you at some point, though.
that's fine.
All right. Where are you guys going next?
Well, I've got the map to the hideout, so maybe we go to the hideout.
I'm down for hideout.
Yeah.
All right. I'm staring into the middle distance.
Why?
Could we please take a short break before we do anything else?
Yes.
Because I'm busting for a pee.
Let's go.
Real busting?
Yep. And with that, since you said yes, I'm now going to run.
We will pause for pee breaks. Yeah.
Okie dokie. I will go make coffee.
Since the game is paused and I'm not chewing, I do think it's funny that I made such good jokes that I got inspiration and then dipped.
And
Go away. I need you to do me a favor. I need you to ask me if
dare you say?
Right now?
No, like in game. For fun, like we can roll or something to figure out if they can. It'll go bad for you guys if you go to the hideout. You guys can go to the hideout now if you want. It'll be rough.
What do I want to do?
It's up to you.
Is the spy group? It's not the same one that Yvonne should deal with, is it?
No. But you
Okay, in terms of not metagaming,
mm-hmm.
would it be suffice to say, knowing that a spy group is involved,
Mm-hmm.
that Ivana would be like, either check in with them or basically go and spy on the spy group first?
Yes. The parents also told you that Gino, their second son, brought their youngest daughter. Once they started getting sick, their son brought their daughter to this group to essentially protect her. And Gino was supposed to come back to the parents, but he has not.
Yeah.
And also, apparently, this group is also investigating the sickness stuff. So some information sharing could be useful. And you guys might be out of favor by this group.
Okay.
Let's just say you guys risk walking into a very dangerous situation. And assistance can be found before going there. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Assistance
okay.
and more clues.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Sound it.
Mm-hmm. It's all the talking, but I'm stubborn. Also, this is all being recorded, so that's hilarious. See, this is how we know if anyone listens to the recording or not. If they're like, hey, what was that little bit of pigeon metagaming there?
It's like nothing. Nothing.
Recording. I'm trying to save all of your lives. Someone. At least give you guys a better chance.
Yeah, the Vada's trying to decide if they want to save your lives.
Really? It includes your life, Ivana, sadly
This
enough.
is, you know what, this is true. And Ivana is selfish.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Real. I'm unmuting. Hello.
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 Hello. I've been colouring this entire time.
I know, I've been watching.
I wanted to be included.
Slay. Hello, Connor.
Because the Roll20 colouring was stressing me out because I couldn't get things in lines.
Valid.
But that's how it looks like without anything.
Ooh, nice.
This is just like a colouring book page from the Kira website.
Mm-hmm. Go off. We love coloring.
We do.
It was such a long ass pee.
Real.
Was it a good pee though?
Oh, it was so needed. Like I was like busting for a pee for like 45 minutes.
King, you can
I
always
don't know
just
how I feel about
say-
this.
You can also just go, hey, give me a sec, I'll be back.
I don't know how I feel about
No,
this
but stuff was
term.
happening, and I didn't want to miss it. My headphones don't reach the bathroom.
I mean, to be fair,
The wireless, but the Bluetooth doesn't reach the bathroom.
To be fair, I needed to pee earlier and I held it for like 5 hours. So.
Oh my god!
Oh my god.
What are you doing?
I mean, that's how you get a UTI, my dear. Don't do that.
I don't know what those are.
Chloe.
But I forgot that I needed to pee. That's the thing. I forgot.
ADHD
Oh, I do know
moment.
that feeling.
Yeah.
I do know that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, wow, I really need to pee. I'll pee when I get to the cafe. got to the cafe and I went, and my body was just like, oh, no,
No, all done.
no, all done. I was like, okay, if you say so.
Sorry,
Really?
Charlie's just making coffee.
Hell yeah.
Do you want a coffee, my love? Should I make you a coffee?
I would not say no to coffee.
Oh, we're just talking about how I really need to pee, and Wilder was like, "Oh, you can always like just say, oh, I need to pee and go." I was like, "Yeah, but then I didn't want to miss anything." And then Chloe was talking about how they held their bladder for 5 hours once, and we're talking about Chloe getting a UTI.
And it's worse right now because we can't use the bathroom on the boat right now because there's a part that's broken, so we have to wait to get it fixed. So the only bathroom we can use is over on the dock. So it takes it's still not a long walk, but it's more work and effort, and you have to make sure to bring the keys.
Yeah, like we are lucky that we are one of the closest boats to it.
Mm-hmm. But it is frustrating. And it's stinky.
Or a bet.
Mm-hmm.
Not as stinky
Only
as
public
us.
Yeah. Trust me, you guys don't want to visit the boat right now.
Yeah, sorry, no, you're gonna have to deal with this if you do move here.
Yeah. Toilets on the boat are an adventure.
I've lived on a boat before.
Real.
So, one of the advice things from the people here when I was trying to sort the toilet stuff out was, don't throw your toilet paper in the toilet, bin it. And I'm like, you know what? So true.
I mean, that's just when you go. My parents have a motorhome,
Mm-hmm.
and you can't actually poop in the toilet in the motorhome and flush it. You have to, if you need to poop, you have to put a bag over the toilet
Mm-hmm.
and poop into a bag. Because the system will clog up if you poop in the toilet on the van.
Oh boy.
Oh man.
And I once went away with my parents for 3 days in that van, and they did not inform me of this before we left, and it absolutely would have influenced my decision about whether I said yes or not if I had known that.
That's so
Let's just say I've not done it since. I don't
Mm.
particularly like pooping into a plastic bag. Thank you very much.
Real.
Hello.
Hello. Are we ready to go? Excuse our discussions of bathrooms.
Well, I knew you were discussing UTIs earlier, so...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was thinking about that, Connor.
Oh yeah,
I was
sorry,
too.
Connor.
It's a regular bodily function, and it's not like we were being weird about it. We were talking very factually.
We're so
Yeah, I'm
cool.
pretty sure Connor asked.
Everybody poos.
I'm pretty sure Connor asked for more bathroom updates, so they did kind of ask. For
This
that.
is true. Connor, bathroom update. I can't poop in the boat. Oh baby, I'm sorry.
You can't make me laugh.
I'm sorry. I'm just too funny.
I've not had to anything because I got distracted about talking about needing to pee.
Real. Relatable. So to resume. You guys were wanting to follow the map you had said, or did you want to pursue anything else first? Before
No, we were going to follow the map.
real.
As we're looking at the map and seeing kind of what direction to go and all of that,
Mhm.
I was like, they mentioned the other son Gino who was meant to come back.
Seems
Bless you.
Bless you.
Thank you.
I think it might be best if we go and find Gino, considering they also know the hideout. It might be worth going to the spy group that was mentioned, so we can try and find Gino, try and find their youngest daughter.
Well, I thought they said that Gino and their youngest daughter may be at the hideout, which is why they gave us the address.
No, they said that they're at the spy group and said that Gino was meant to come back but didn't.
I don't know
So,
whether Quinn had an
considering-
entirely different conversation.
No, so what the parents said is that Alessio might be at the hideout. The reason you guys were given the hideout's location is because there might be stuff like, shipment records, maps through more of the tunnels of the city, and where to find the other various smugglers.
Yep, Quinn totally misunderstood that in all its forms.
I salute you.
Hey, as I said, it has been a dumbass long week.
Real.
It's been 3 days in London. And I do not stand it. I don't know how Chloe does it every single day.
I've always lived here, that's what.
Okay, so, but do we have any inclination of where Gino and the are?
Well, we know that they're at the spy group, we just don't know.
Where the spy group is?
Ivana, you know.
Oh, yeah, Ivana knows.
Technically, Karis does too, but I don't know if Karis has connected those dots quite yet.
Yeah.
Well, I just can't remember whether Ivana outright told Karis whether it was a spy group thing or whether they were just like, okay, we're gonna go somewhere else for reasons that I'm not gonna tell you about.
No, Ivana was like, yeah, we're moving, and then was like, yeah, that was a whole spy group tavern.
Okay.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, but Thane doesn't know this.
No. But yeah, Ivana will be like, I know where they hang out. At least the spy group, that is. We can go in and ask them about the youngest daughter who was with them and maybe see if they know which direction Gino went. Because, I mean, this is family business. I feel like the right thing to do, considering we just put down one of their parents, is to find them first and inform them before going to their family hideout. Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm trying to get better.
I mean, I'm happy for us to do whatever I have. Yeah. This whole thing is new to me, so
All right. Well, Ivana and Karis as well, you guys know that the name of the tavern where Karis had initially been staying, was the Blind Beholder.
Yes.
You guys know where in the city that bar is. So you guys can head there first if you so wish.
Yeah.
Schley. It is not a long walk through the city. Oh, I forgot the space.
I will drop in step next to Grim and let him know about the fact that we are heading to the place mentioned in his note.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Grim will reach into their bag and kind of... Karis will hear a lot of paper just shifting around. I'll pull out like a bunch of notes and kind of just start like sifting through them until he finds the right one and just hands it over and like, here you go.
Why are you giving it to me, Grim?
I don't want to deal with it.
Real.
The fact that anyone in this party trusts Karis concerns me, but you know.
Grim gave you poison.
They did do that too.
Yeah, Ivana definitely looks over at this note pile and she's like, what the fuck?
Karis will just blow a kiss their way.
And I think...
Eye.
Real. I think Nora had sent you the screenshot of it before, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, slay. Then yeah. Rolling up to the blind beholder. It doesn't look horrifically seedy. It's a decently well kept bar. It doesn't seem to like also have an inn attached or anything like that. It is just a bar. And upon entering, it's pretty clear that while there is drinking going on, this seems to be mainly like card games and gambling. There's a lot of tables set up, some arguing over some of the like poker-esque games. It looks to be a decent mix of like soldiers off duty relaxing, and also a lot of more shifty folks that the soldiers are pointedly pretending to not notice money trading hands or things like that. But it's, looks like a typical gambling bar. The main barkeep, an orcish woman with an eye patch on, kind of gives you guys a head nod from the bar at the far end of the room, but does not call out or anything, just kind of lets you guys do what you want.
Question is, does Thane want to gamble?
No,
Grim
hey,
does.
no, we're not gambling here. We're not gambling. Is everyone in here part of this bike group?
Roll a perception check to see what you can glimpse. Some people might be wearing it publicly, some people might be hiding it. Is that a nat 1?
Can I re-roll?
If somebody helps you, I will let you re-roll.
Well, I know about the gold necklace thing, so I'll help.
Slay.
Thank you!
Spare Ivana.
I don't have good perception, okay?
You should have reliable talent.
What's reliable talent?
Oh my god. Please go look at your rogue features and traits.
Isn't reliable talent higher level?
I thought it was... Oh, does it happen later? Never mind, ignore me. But essentially, reliable talent, Chloe, is something that lets you treat anything lower than 10 as a 10.
I don't have that.
Damn, an F.
I have skill expert,
Real.
and I have expertise
So
in
true.
things, and I've got proficiency.
Yeah, what's your final total?
Perception. 8.
8. Alright. You're not sure about those who might be keeping it hidden from view, but there are at least...
With advantage?
Yeah, that's with advantage.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow, okay.
Yeah.
Can
I
I
rolled a
just
nat 1, and then I rolled
because
a 5, okay?
just because I think this would be hilarious, can I also like keep an eye out for any golden necklaces just so I can potentially show Ivana up here?
Yeah, you roll perception as well.
Thank you.
But for Vana, there could be some people hiding it. The bartender at least seems to be very publicly displaying some kind of gold necklace, though there is an amulet on the end of it, so you're not sure. It could just be a normal-ass gold necklace.
18.
18. Karis, there are so many fucking people wearing hidden gold chains. Not just necklaces either. You'll see like a flash of a bracelet as somebody plays a card. It looks like most of the soldiers that are here to gamble aren't members, but literally everyone else, even if you don't directly see it on them, you get the vibe that they are a known quantity in this bar. If this isn't like their literal like den, this is at the very least a well-loved bar by this group.
I was gonna say, because we were here.
Mm-hmm. What would you guys like to do?
Gamble.
We're not fucking gambling.
Look, Grim and I, we can go sit at a table while you find out what's going on.
Can I, if they do go to walk away, can I nudge Brutus to try and steal Grim's money?
You guys.
Leave me alone!
So that Grim doesn't gamble it away, I don't want to steal it and keep it. I want to steal it and hold it like a bank.
You can't have Brutus do it. I'll never see it again.
Ivana can't do it.
Only if Connor is alright with me rolling on their behalf. And if Connor isn't free to talk right now, then that's something we'll resolve later. I see typing.
My money.
Come on, baby. Come on,
My gambling
baby.
money. Guys, I could win it big.
Grim develops a gambling addiction.
I already have one. It's in the backstory bit that I gave you.
Oh my gosh, Brutus.
Yes.
The reverse pickpocket.
Real.
Oh my.
Yeah, so Grim and I, we're gonna
Jesus
Grim
Christ.
and I, we're gonna go hit the tables.
Yeah.
While you guys do whatever it is y'all want to do.
Oh my gosh. I do not have any fancy gambling games.
Rollies.
It'll probably just be rollies, yeah. One day I'll have a fancy gambling game that you guys can play. But for now, we'll get to rollies in a minute as you two are sitting down and being, dealt in and whatnot. Are you guys looking for like a dice game, a card game, or poker? Mostly
Probably
just for the
something with
vibes.
chance,
Slay.
because I'm not good at reading people, and I'm not good at lying, so poker is not my game.
Slay. All right.
Ivana's ignoring the fact that
Karis would be incredible at poker.
My God. All right. You two sit down and begin to be dealt into, let's say, a game of chance with dice. So no really skill involved, just pure chance. Karis and Ivana, were you guys joining at all, or taking care of other matters?
Ivana wants to go and ask around about Gino.
Mm-hmm. All right, and Karis?
Kara would like to.
Sorry,
Let me find the
Ivana's
thing
gonna turn
real
to
quick.
Karis and just go, sorry, Karis, they don't deal in people's lives here.
Karis is going to ignore that.
And it was said, telepathically as well.
Karis is still going to ignore it and start asking around to speak to someone who whispers.
All right. Ivana, you start poking around, asking about Gino Marino, which is a hilarious name. I hadn't said it out loud yet. Gino Marino, what a name. You start asking around. Mostly people are just giving you shrugs. Doesn't seem to be any immediate leads, but also not sure if people are telling you the truth. Cars, as you're asking around, looking for someone who whispers, any soldiers you ask just kind of look confused and are just like,
Oh, I would be asking exclusively the gold chain people.
slay. Pretty much immediately, like, maybe not the very first one. The very first one just kind of side-eyes you and doesn't say anything. But the second one immediately gives you, like, an eyebrow raise and jerks a thumb towards the bartender.
I will slip this person a gold piece as a little thank you.
Slay. They, let's say it's a woman, takes it, immediately drops it into cleavage. You know how it be. the other people at the table begin to like cry in dismay and be like, "No, add it to the pot," and that kind of thing. All right, heading towards the bartender. As you're heading her way and waiting for her to finish serving someone and come speak with you, gamblers. Hello, gamblers. So are you both? I'll let you either play as a team, which will let you have advantage on one dice roll, or you guys can roll individually. What would you like?
I'm happy either way. I feel like if it's go roll, I should roll because my luck is like.
That is the thing that I was thinking of. And as nice as it would be to gamble together, it would also be way funnier if you won and I lost a lot.
Fine, that's fine with me.
All right. Since this is a flat chance game, I just need you both to roll a d20.
Are we determining how much we're putting down? Is it like double or nothing?
Let's say for this first round, you just have to put down 5 gold to entry.
Is there a specific number we're going for, or is it just highest?
It looks like everyone at the table is essentially determining their own number, and whoever is highest gets the pot. I'm borrowing your d20.
Do you want another d20?
Sure. My bag's
actually,
right
no,
here.
they're over there.
I rolled an 8.
Work.
I rolled an 18.
Jesus. Alright, you guys are playing against 2 other people. A 2 and a 10. So, alright, in this first round, Thane, you get a total of 20 golds. If you guys are going again, you can instead choose to just put 5 gold in, or the other 2 are upping their bets to 10.
I'll up my bet, don't you worry.
I'm upping my bet.
Slay. Go for it.
Oh no.
16.
Mm-hmm.
A 1.
Oh, God. Well, one got a 3, and the other one got an 18. So, both Grim and Thane, had you guys both put in 10?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Thane, you still have 10 of your prior winnings, while the person who rolled 18 pulls in. You guys can do one more round before I go back to Garrus. Are you going again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, slay. The other 2 are upping their bets to 15.
I'm upping my bet to 15. Let's go, baby. Fuck. I rolled a 9.
18.
Damn. One rolled a natural 1 and the other one rolled a 17. So,
Hey.
Thane, you get 60. Though keep in mind that 15 of that is already yours.
Yep.
Alright, slay. Then, as you guys are gambling in the corner with these 2, let's say, disgruntled soldiers, circling back to Karis, the bartender finishes up with who she was serving prior, steps towards your way, angling herself to keep her good eye on you, and she kind of gestures to the shelves of alcohol behind her. What can I do you for?
That depends. I'm here as a favor from a steel-plated friend.
All right. She kind of reaches and messes with something under the counter, and pauses, almost as if listening, and then nods. Right. If you give me just about 3 or 4 minutes, your escort will be here, sir. I hope you're...
And
Go ahead.
in the meantime, I'd like to buy a round of drinks. I will gesture at the table where the gambling is happening. One for everyone at that table, please.
Alright, that'll be 6 gold. And tell your friends
I will
not to...
hand 6 gold over.
Yeah? Tell your friends not to burn all their good money out here. The real gambling is back there.
Good to know. Horace is just not going to say anything to everyone and just head back there himself later.
Real. Alright, Ivana, you have not had... Like, you don't have to roll. Just saying Gino's name around to these people,
Yeah.
it's hard for you to tell if they're lying or just being truthful, but you are not getting any takers. To be fair, you don't think you'd get any takers if these people were replaced with your group either. You could join the gambling.
Ivana's hands are twitching
Mm-hmm.
and wants to gamble so much. But Ivana is also programmed to stay on the job.
Mm-hmm.
So would absolutely stay on the job.
Mm-hmm.
What was the... Oh, let me check his name. Did they say what the... Oh, Leona.
Yes. So you're asking about Leona now?
Yeah.
Even less answers. Now you get the distinct impression that people do know who you're talking about, but you can see the immediately light in the eyes of, that's a child. Ignoring you. You get the impression of loyalty, and that these people know the weight of knowledge and do not share it.
Which is there anyone I can find who... Is there like a main group that I could go and talk to there, like for Marciano's, to be like, look, I understand that there's loyalty and I don't want to know where she is.
Mhm.
I don't care where she is. But something has happened to her parents and we're trying to figure out what. We're trying to help with this sickness.
Mhm.
And her parents gave us the map.
Mm.
The map. And we are going to go there on their request. So whether you would like to help us with that or not, that is up to you, but we are going there. And I wanted to do the decent thing of trying to find the family first, because they said that Gino was meant to come back and never returned.
Mm-hmm. The one you're talking to, like, you approach a table that seems to hopefully be some sort of inner circle, as they seem very tight-knit. And they're all kind of giving you a look. And you notice you don't have to make a pass of anything. You know the weight of a stare. It's kind of familiar in a way, not in a, oh, I know this person, but, oh, I know this kind of attention. The person directly across the table, someone who 5 minutes ago had looked at you like you were crazy when you were asking about all this, is looking at you, and their eyes have changed color. Their eyes are gold now. And they kind of watch you for a second and then lay down their cards and says, patience. Relax. Play a game.
I don't want to play a game, I want to help the family.
I'm not free at the moment.
Then hurry up.
Be patient. And they pick the cards back up and the eyes change back to their normal color. The other people at the table had watched all of this, but don't say anything and resume their game.
Have I seen the eye changing colour thing before? No.
No? Not really. I mean, sometimes you see, like, you know, a mage's eyes light up when they cast magic, but not, you know, it's normally a bit obvious. So at the gambling table...
The best part.
I actually would like to use the opportunity as we're gambling to kind of speak to the guards and sort of ask them if they've seen anything, kind of like, you know, playing it off is like, oh, you must have some interesting stories, like on the beat, like on, you know, sort of thing. But basically probing for anything odd that they've come across, anything that's like out of the ordinary, anything that might direct me in anything to do with my spirit friends, anything like that, but phrasing it in a way of like, oh, I want to hear like interesting stories, like it must be so like unique, like, you know, on the streets, like being enthralled with the people and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, after a couple of rounds of playing together, you know, there's some loosening up, and they start to tell you guys little bits of stories, bits of illness on the front lines, which is, you know, to be expected. Grim has heard of such. Others, you know, talk about, you know, seeing a great dragon swooping over the battle and seemingly helping, and, you know, telling them these interesting stories from what they've seen of the fight. Once the alcohol comes, though, with Karis, they are getting a lot more friendly, telling stories more freely. One of them starts to, like, get into talking about a time he was having, and the other one shuts him up, like, don't talk about that right now. It is not time to talk about your battlefield hookups. What the fuck, my dude? Maybe a little too comfortable. But, you know, conversation is flowing well. Karis, are you joining in on the gambling, or are you just watching?
I wasn't going to join in, but I would like to send a sending to Grim.
Slay.
Just to essentially point him in the direction that the bartender pointed me for the real gambling.
The bartender had not pointed you anywhere, just said to wait. And so
did they not also say that not to tell my friends not to waste my money there and to go somewhere else for the real gambling?
Yeah.
Or did I misunderstand that?
An escort was going to come for you guys, and that real gambling was, quote, in the back. So, presumably the escort is going to take you guys to the back. Yeah.
Okay. In that case, I will saunter over and join in some gambling. Why not?
Slay.
Sorry, I misunderstood that.
No, you're fine. With a new person being added to the table, the guards are like joking that they'll go easy on you, so they bump the bet back down to 5.
Cowards.
Oh, don't feel the need to go easy on my part.
Okay, fuck you, 30.
I was about to win it big. 30.
Watch me roll like a natural 1.
Oh,
Thane has not touched his drink this entire time, by the way. He's doing like performative sips, but not actually drinking.
slay. All right, what numbers did we get, lads?
I got an 18.
Oh,
I did it.
I got a 16.
Slay.
No. No.
What did you get, Clint?
My money.
Not 20.
No.
Ironically
I
enough,
rolled well.
Ironically enough, one of the guards had also rolled an 18, so you would have had to roll off anyways. Alright, so with a natural 20, yeah, you get, oh gosh, now I have to do math. You get 20 back, because you get your 5 back, of course.
It was 30.
So Oh, 30,
No,
right? Fuck me.
We
Yeah.
went
So that's-
30, yeah. So
You get
150.
60. Oh, 150. 30, 30.
we all put in 30,
Oh, yes.
and there's 5 left.
Yes, so 150. But 30 of that is already yours.
Yeah, there's 120.
What are you at now,
Guys,
Nor?
Hey, guys, I pretty much nearly doubled my money playing this game.
I'm poor again, but I still got money. Let's go.
As there's some more like camaraderie, all the guards joking about this, one of them kind of clapping Karis on the shoulder and being like, "Oh, what an entrance into the game!" There is a brief hubbub as somebody steps out from behind the bar. It is not the bartender. Somebody else seems to have popped up. It is a young satyr man. Clip-clops over to your guys' table. He's dressed in like a dress shirt and a vest, and is prominently displaying a gold chain that like attaches across the front of his vest, like some sort of, watch chain or something like that. And he gives a bow to the table. And as he is doing so, mainly approaching you, Karis, one of the guards is saying something to you, Thane, about like, well, I haven't seen it myself, but like there is a legend that there's some kind of guardian is supposed to show up in times of trouble. So I wonder if something's gonna show up and defend us when the Empire gets here. But that could just be wives' tales. And the satyr very clearly holds up a hand for silence, and the two guards fall quiet. And the satyr says to the three of you, if you would please all follow me. You've been invited to the Black Room. The guards are immediately like giving whistles of appreciation and like, woo, big money, huh? What do you guys do?
Karis will stand up and say something along the lines of, excuse us.
Slay. As Thane takes everyone's money.
Yep, Thane will he'll get up and he'll like thank the guys for a game, shake each other's hands. He comes across in this whole situation as like really like charismatic and like he was born for this kind of socializing and stuff. He is so tired, but like he knows how to perform.
Real. As you were all getting up and beginning to follow the satyr, there's a moment where the satyr snaps their fingers, and Ivana, there's an immediate somebody reaching over and tugging on your elbow. Somebody who's prominently displaying a golden chain. Do you react like that?
Yes.
Chloe
I
made a gesture.
I don't fully go to slap them, but it's more that thing of like,
Mm-hmm.
don't touch me.
Yeah, they do not flinch, and they just say, "The Black Room wants you," and gestures over towards the satyr that your group is gathering around.
They make a grumpy face, say thank you, and walk over.
Slay. All right, you guys gather up.
It's kind of you to join us.
Yeah. Have fun gambling.
Out of sheer pity, I'm gonna give Grim the 60 gold back.
Oh.
Grim is going to push it away from them and say, no. I'll win it back.
Dude, I didn't play to take your money.
Will win it.
Okay. I'm gonna I'm
Ivana,
I'm
as-
dexterous.
I mean, as we're walking in, I was going to say, Ivana will just whisper to Thane, just get Brutus to sneak it in its pocket, he won't notice.
Noted.
As the satyr begins to lead you guys towards what had previously just looked like some kind of decorative curtain on the wall that starts to be pulled open, and there's clearly like a hallway there, the satyr pauses, watching something fall after you guys, and says, apologies. No pets allowed. As Thorn just kind of watches blankly.
Oh no! let Thorn in!
She kind of gives a loud huff and goes to flop down next to the bar. And since Brutus is half here, she does say into Brutus's mind, essentially, asks essentially what you just said, Connor. It's a sleigh. She settles down grumpily. And the satyr leads you all into the back room. It is a short hall that ends with another set of curtains being opened, and the satyr steps aside and gestures for you all to enter into what is much more casino vibes. The walls are decorated red and black. There's fine plush carpet. There's like proper full gambling tables, complete with the spinning wheels and balls clinking together. There's alcohol and a bit of smoke, though the smoke doesn't choke the air, and there's a faint tingle of magic, as if magic is keeping the air clean for those who don't want to be smoking. The clientele back here is much more finely dressed. It isn't busy, considering it's the middle of the day, but you definitely get the impression that this is probably one of the premier spots in the city. There is like a central bar in the middle of the room, a circle, and there's a bartender also manning there. But the satyr leads you past all of that and towards, on the edge of this big main room, there's what looks to be several private booths that are curtained off, and the satyr opens up one and gestures for you all to enter.
Ivana sits.
Garrus will sit down as well.
Slay.
Thane will sit down.
It's a big round booth. You all have to scooch together. Do the awkward shuffle along the seat. Slay. Brutus can have the outside seat.
Grim is just kind of standing there waiting for everyone else to shuffle in.
As you are all shuffling in, it is clear that there is somebody else who's also already in this booth. The booth is a circle, so they're like on the, like a horseshoe shape,
Yeah.
So if Brutus is taking one outside seat, the other person is taking the other outside seat. It is what seems to be a Wind Genasi woman. She has this pale silver skin, kind of almost an afro of like curling, tightly wound breezes that are constantly moving. And she's wearing glasses with dangling golden chains. And she just kind of watches and waits for you all to get settled, figure out who's sitting where, that kind of thing. And waits for whether it be you guys to introduce yourselves or what. I'm waiting for time as I try to grab her little thingy. There we go. There we go. As you all are finally settled, she gives a short nod and says, "Hello. My name is Mist. I will be your contact today. I hear you were inquiring about a favor owed.
Something like that.
This is very clearly news to Thane.
Grim looks right at Karis.
Karis makes eye contact and smiles.
Well, I apologize, but not to seem rude, but I genuinely do not have a lot of time.
Yes, a favor from a steel-plated friend.
Right. Yes, I believe I know who that refers to. I think this business was arranged a couple weeks ago, yes? This should... the favor requested was a boon to hide someone from the appetite of the veracity. The favor was only for one boon, which will protect one person. If you want to request more than that, then we will have to arrange our own business right here. But at least to settle that first favor, she reaches into her cloak and pulls out a gold chain, and at the end of it is an amulet. It looks like a gem of like tiger's eye, which is, kind of an amber gem that swirls around a darker center. And it is, the tiger eye itself is wrapped in very, very small chains. She places it down, and I won't make you all do any identification. We're very proud of our work here. So I will put in notes, essentially, what she explains to you all about this item. This is the amulet of the chained eye. While someone is wearing this amulet, you can't be targeted by divination spells, perceived through magical scrying sensors, be affected by any form of mental messaging or speech, or be viewed via the intercession of other powers unless you allow it. Additionally, you are hid from the direct gaze of the sworn enemy of the advisor themselves, though the advisor will always know where those who wield their power are.
Karis will go ahead and pick it up and pocket it for the time being.
Slay. If you want to arrange for more amulets, I wish we could simply give them to any who ask, but they are quite pricey and difficult to manufacture reliably, so we do require payment.
We understand.
Do I dare ask what this payment is?
Are you saying that in character?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, simple money is for out there. She waves past the curtain towards the distant sound of the gambling tables. We deal in what you might deem appropriate for such a valuable item.
It doesn't really answer the question what you would have us do.
Think of it as a trade. What do you find a valid trade for such an item? If you cannot come with one in the moment,
Tabitha, Jesus
Well.
Christ.
we do occasionally accept the payment in favors. That would depend on if a favor from somebody would be useful from us or not. room.
I'm just gonna kind of like glance to the others, see if they have any like thoughts or feelings on the matter.
Karis is just sitting back.
How long would it take one of these to be produced?
Say again?
How long would it take for one of these to be produced?
I could produce enough to outfit your entire group right here, right now, if needed. But we would need, of course, something that would be a fair trade.
What about how we're actually putting our lives on the line to try and combat this veracity while you sit in your casino?
We're all trying in our own ways, Adept Angarona.
Oh, damn.
I'm currently here as a interim carer for Fortes Lesaros. Our main leadership is handling matters connected to what you mentioned.
So you know who we all are.
Oh, certainly. We wouldn't be very good spies if we didn't.
Oh, obviously.
Grim, can you do me a favor and make an insight check?
Oh boy.
Oh, God.
What?
What does a 4 do?
Mist had been addressing Ivana, but kind of gave you a weird look out of the corner of her eye. Who knows? Maybe she hates plague doctors.
Can I insight that because she looks away from me?
Sure.
Oh, can I have my child back, please?
Yes, here's your child.
Thank you.
Your 20-sided child. What'd you get?
Ignore me, ignore me. I did nothing.
Brutus has asked a
Yeah.
question.
Yeah. She kind of tilts her head. Yes, we're doing much the same. But forgive me to remind you, I am just taking care of our group in the interim. I'm not allowed to make horribly big decisions. So I can only fall back on what I have been told is acceptable payment for these things.
And where are the other leaders?
If you'd like to discuss more in detail, the doctor will be here within a couple days.
Who's this doctor?
My mentor.
Is
Do
that
they have a name?
their name?
Names have power. Knowledge, we believe, is the most important form of power. If you want something like that, you'd have to perhaps trade something in return.
Thane will kind of lean a little, like looking at her as he does. And you seem to know about all of us?
Oh, certainly. She's giving you an intense look.
Yeah. So you know who I am,
Yes.
and you know who I work for.
Yes.
What is a favor on both parts worth to you?
A favor from a ghost slayer is certainly useful. It is something I'd have to discuss more at length with my mentor.
Friend?
No.
Father, I think. I don't say that out loud, but
But as I said, he will be here within a couple days. If you want to talk more specifically about a favor from your family, that is something that I am permitted to negotiate on.
And what else
Thane
are you
is more
permitted
than
to
happy
do?
to piss off his family, so it's like then for now let us discuss a favor from family.
Going off of my information, a favor in your words alone would be worth 1 amulet. A favor sworn, though, would be 3.
Okay, this is Quinn being dumb. What does that mean?
No, that's okay. She is purposely being a bit misleading, but you, Thane, recognize when somebody says, like, a favor sworn, like, capital S sworn, she's probably saying, like, a blood oath. Essentially saying that there's power to force maybe not just you to do this favor, but to force someone from your bloodline to fulfill this favor. So essentially she's saying a promise from you is great. A promise that they can make, say, your mother or father fulfill would be stellar.
He looks thoughtful for a moment, and the vibe is very much like when it comes to his parents, he doesn't give a shit.
Doesn't give a shit.
He kind of goes, I'm happy to agree to a favor sworn, but there'll be one name left out of it.
I can make assumptions on that name. We will only look at blood above you. Parents. No siblings or other familial ties.
Oh, you can drag my siblings in. That's fine.
I was attempting to tactfully give you an out.
There's only one that I care about. I seem aware of it. And he seems annoyed by that fact as well. Like,
to clarify,
he's annoyed.
I don't know the specifics. I know that there is one, but that's about all we know. And we won't pry. At least not for a couple of years. Brute is picking on it instantly. She's tried to so tactfully give you an out, and Thane is just like, no, this is chill.
You have to remember that he, an intelligent being, he is not a wise or charismatic one.
Real.
So, yeah, no. So he's just like, yeah, no, you want to drag my siblings to this? Go for it, because he's not thinking about that.
Then, as you make this agreement, she reaches behind her neck and seemingly undoes the clasp of her eyeglasses chain, and on one end of it is a very small pinprick needle, and she holds it slightly towards you. You need only prick your thumb.
Oh.
Gwen?
Sorry, our food just arrived.
We'll go
So I was
off.
trying to determine which rice is mine and which rice is his.
Real.
Sorry, say that again?
She essentially held out to a needle attached to her golden chain and just said you needed to prick your thumb.
I will prick my thumb.
Yeah. Pretty much instantly, the curtain parts and the satyr is there again and places 3 more matching amulets onto the table. And then closes the curtain once more.
I will pick up the 3 amulets.
It's nice. You guys have a total of 4 amulets. You do have a party of 5, though.
Ivana doesn't really care to have one.
You don't have to have one if you don't want one, or if you guys want an extra. Or if Grim wants to buy the name of this doctor.
I am tempted. I just don't know what Grim has to offer.
You can always promise a future favor and see if that's worth it.
See, the gambling part of me is fighting against Grim's intelligence.
But I will, while you're thinking on that, I'll circle back to Brutus's question. And she kind of raises an eyebrow at the W case. I can't talk. The uppercase W and N. Certainly a lot of things, but a dead position holds little worth to us in its current state.
Thane hasn't given them to anybody, by the way. It's just taken all 3.
Slay. Who has the first one? Just so I know.
Kara.
Slay.
Me in my pocket.
Miss kind of lifts an eyebrow at you, Brutus, and it is that immediate air of, I know what you're going to say, but this is cute and amusing, so I'll let it ride. And she says, fine. I'm not forbidden from giving his name. Well, your update? She raises an eyebrow at that. Apparently that information was not what she was expecting you to say. And she kind of leans back a little and says, a potential heir. That is valuable information. Thank you so much, Brutus Fourleaf. I'm sure the advisor would love to do business with you in the future. But for now, payment back for the Heir of Night. Dr. Ludovic Pavor is our resident doctor and interim leader until a new head is chosen. And I will type that for you guys.
I don't think you need to type it for no.
That's so crazy. I wonder why.
Is that the doctor that ran away?
No.
Oh no, that was a female.
This bitch be running around mentoring lots of people, apparently. Papa, are you coming home?
Papa?
Papa?
Papa y papa.
But she seems to nod, recognizing that you guys aren't, at least currently, going to push for more amulets. And she says, if you wish to do business again in the future, we would certainly be open to it. I have been requested to offer a gift for free. Information. Our most valuable type of gift. And she kind of sits up straight as if being about to recite something from memory. Local legends say that there is a guardian of the city who is supposed to protect it, but slumbers in wait until someone awakens them and asks for such protection. A guardian of root and bark, of damp earth and fertile soil, of cornerstones and shaping rock, who is the very heart and life of the city itself. one who blessed the farmers that first settled here and taught them how to shape stones that eventually became the walls of Shevgard. She kind of loosens up some, seemingly done her recited bit, and says, I know that has words of power. I don't know where they originate from, but I'm told you needed those words. I don't know how to find the entrance to the supposed lair of this guardian, but I have heard mutterings of roots beginning to clog up some of the deeper tunnels under the city. The implication I understood is that if something bad happens to this guardian, whatever happened will instantly spread to the rest of the city. It would be terrible if such a guardian fell ill.
So is the guardian real or not real?
Unclear. Well, malcontents, I wish you a good afternoon gambling if you so wish. Feel free to speak with any of our employees in the Black Room. They'll all know your deal and might have information of their own that they're willing to trade and barter for. I just ask that you not speak with any of our patrons, mostly for your own sake. Not all of them are the savory sort. Have a good afternoon. She stands up and ducks out of the booth.
Oh, we've been coined a
Dana's
name.
gonna look
How lovely.
Dane's gonna look at the 3 amulets in his hand. Oh, I see Connor has a question real quick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just wait.
Protect me.
I just also like the continual who the fuck is saying that making a sworn oath
Very
is
normal.
enough to get 3 amulets.
Miss just kind of gives you a smile, Brutus, and says, "Oh, we'd never do business with those sorts."
Wild.
To be clear, people who would do untoward things to refugees, Forte Susurros does not fuck with that. Oh, and to be clear, since I don't think I specified, Mist is a fucking teenager. Probably like 16 or 17.
Hilarious.
Way to threaten a child, Brutus.
Real. Child killer, point and laugh.
I trust a child.
But excuse me, sorry. What were you gonna say, Thane?
So he's kind of like looking at the amulets. Before looking to the rest of the group. So, how do we want to divvy these? We have. There's 5.
Well, I've got mine.
Uh-huh.
Ivana will kind of straight and be like, I don't want one. Share them between yourselves. Between the rest of you.
Yeah, because your boss would get pretty mad if they couldn't look in on you.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Thane will hand one to Brutus and one to Grim, with the caveat of, don't ask me who my family are. Don't ask me whether this was a good idea or not, because it absolutely wasn't, but that was part of the fun.
I don't care. Grim puts it on.
Real. Grim, there is this immediate feeling of quiet, almost like you hadn't been aware for months now that there was this constant buzz, constant noise of some kind in the back of your mind. And it is now blessedly quiet. You had not realized how much it was bothering you until it was gone. Your tinnitus is healed! Slay!
All right,
Super normal.
I'm gonna go gambling.
Let's go gambling!
Let's go gambling.
Uh,
Oh, dang it.
Oh, dang it. Oh, dang it.
and with that, we'll end session there. Wahoo! With you guys going to gamble and possibly trade with some other information, with some other people for information about Leona or the sickness or shipments or anything you guys want. Thank you for coming here first. You guys would have, let's just say, had some major problems if at least half of you guys didn't have amulets. It would have been interesting.
Well, just so that it's out in the room because I probably